I was literally like in the middle of the hot take, bro. I was in there cooking, didn't hit the record button. Damn. Anywho, what I was saying was shopping up with my homie today, right? 42. Telling me about how he was going through a divorce. 22 years he was married. And just giving me the backstory about how it came to it. She filed. He's dog. He already said, bro. I was a dog. Dogged her out. Doing this, doing that. He like the first 2 months afterwards, he just was hurt, couldn't get out of bed, this and that. How could you do this to me? You broke my heart, crazy bitch. I loved you, da 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 da. And he said he started reflecting back and just thinking about all his ways and what he was doing and how he was treating her, how he was talking to her. And he said I had the epiphany and realization that, would I want to help somebody? Would I want to help a man that has done this to my daughter, that's done this to my child, that has hurt her, has did this, da 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 da? He asked me, I said, fuck, man, no, hellfire and brimstone, I don't even want to see you crossing the street. I might do something to you. And then he said, dropped a gem, was like, my wife is God's daughter. Every woman is God's daughter. We're all God's children. So how can you expect God to bless you or look after you or do something for you when you're treating his child wrong? And it just was, I know that, but it's, sometimes and certain things hit different at certain points, and connecting with people, like I said earlier, or once you connect with somebody, you talk with them, and you could kind of, especially somebody that you've been around, that you've chopped it up with, that you know how they are when they give you something, even if something like 1 + 1 is 2. You may say that to somebody and just, oh, I never thought about it like that. 1 + 1 is 2. Or 1 + 1 is 11. Oh, mind blowing type shit. But say all that to say, $110% correct, bro. Like 110%. We are all a woman is God's daughter. No matter what age, shape, or form you come across them. Us as men gotta realize, or should act more in that frame of, this is somebody's. This is not just somebody's daughter. This is God's daughter. And I know cats are gonna wanna, demonize them, and they stripping and they doing this, they on the pole, they on the snap, they on OnlyFans, it's just a hoe, it's just a this, it's just a that, yada yada yada. No, dog, that is still God's daughter at the end of the day. No matter how she decides to treat herself, you are not obligated nor entitled to treat her that way. Even if she is a hoe, you're not required nor obligated nor didn't make a pledge to America to treat her just like the way that she wants to be treated, regardless of how they may be. You don't know the backstory to how they got to that. They could have been kidnapped, whoopty-whooped, whatever you want to say, fill in the blank, use your imagination, that got her from being God's daughter to being something totally completely outside of that. And that was one of those things that you think about as a father of girls, as a man who's done his own dirt and has, did women wrong, player, you name it, anything that you want to. I've been in those shoes, more or less. I've been in those shoes. Had my heart broke, I'm gonna take my pain out on this next chick and da 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 da. And, subscribe to a lot of, this new macho machismo mentality of, I'm the table and all that. Well, yeah, we ain't got no tables, dog. At the end of the day, without a family, without that strong connection, it's all horseshit. Because nobody wants to wake up alone or be alone. And he hit the hammer on the nail on the head when he was like, I wasn't disciplined, and I lacked the discipline to be a good husband. And a lot of dudes lack dick discipline, bro. Like, the best way to put a piece of ass in front of a man, and they'll lose their mind. And it's real. And discipline is real. Self-discipline is real. Self-monetization is real. And I struggle with it. You can't, it's especially with these damn devices. You can't scroll more than 30 seconds without seeing some TNA somewhere. And it does not mean that everything is for everybody or everyone is for everybody. That's the daughter of God, and that's how you kind of gotta play it and, act accordingly. Especially if you are looking to find love or find commitment or find some sense of loyalty. And if you're just gonna play the field and be a forever bachelor, then just keep it a bean, bro. Just like, yeah, man, I'm sticking and moving. Honesty will get you a lot. Honesty will get you a whole lot if you just tell them what's up. Like, yo, this ain't that. But any ladies, what do you think about? Do you see yourself as a child of God or as a daughter of God? And what does that mean? And fellas too, what does it mean to be a son of God? Like, what do you think that is prescribed for you? What's that all about? Some cool shit to think about, cool shit to ponder on. Because the relationships, you can't speak for everyone's relationship, but I could speak for the way that relationships seem to appear via the socials, via the snaps, via the IGs, via the what's that other shit? The YouTubes and all that kind of stuff. Everybody just seems hurt. Everybody seems lost and some yearning for a connection and do any and everything under the sun to get that affection or that attention. And even if it comes from a bad source, you're just so hungry that you're willing to eat a rotten apple, or you're so thirsty you're willing to drink the dirty water. It's because nobody's ever gave me water before, nobody's ever gave me food before, so I want whatever I could get, I'm gonna take, and I'm gonna act however I need to act to get that attention, So That's it, boys and girls. That's all I got. 10 minutes is up. Thank you for your time and consideration. Comment below, like, all that kind of cool shit. Till tomorrow.